Welcome to the Just Jim radio show. So grateful to be here today and grateful to have you here with me. We are here to share some inspiration, information, some ideas and concepts that make a difference. Make a difference for you, for your life, for the world. We do that in different ways. We do that with some interviews. We do that with some discussion, some formats of question and answers. This morning, we'll be having a conversation or discussing a new reflection of humanity. Hopefully it's inspiring and informative, but also a little bit of fun. Just Jim likes to have a little bit of fun. And right now, as we're continuing to evolve through our process in the world, a little fun will help everybody. So know that I am here. This is what I am, not what I do. And so I'm grateful to have this opportunity to be with you and for you to be with me to share this time together to talk about just maybe a different view or a different look at what's happening for you, for us, for the world. As I've been making my way through this process of the evolution of these circumstances and situations the virus has created for us, I call it an opportunity, sometimes even a blessing, because it's giving me so much of a chance to see myself and who I am and how I do what I do differently. Hopefully it is also offering that for you. I'm sure some of you may be having some challenge with anxiety or fear or frustration with not being able to do what you want to do or work. Some of you may be having financial and other situations going on, but we're all in this and we're all trying to make our way. And I believe that this particular process we're in is an opportunity to look differently at what's going on. And one of the words that has struck me more than any other during this time of impact of it and reaction to it and trying to adjust and now reopen, get out into the world again, each of us in a different place, different state, different set of circumstances. We get a chance to do something different than we have before. Feels like it's almost been forced on us, but like life that comes up and does what it does, we all have the choice. And during this time, spring returning, new growth, renewal, bringing creation, rebirth into the world of nature, we have the opportunity to be able to recreate ourselves to some degree and to, in some cases, conform to circumstances, but they give us the opportunity to look at ourselves and our world differently. So I don't know what the impact has been for you. I send my blessings to you, my prayers or my energy to you for anyone who may be impacted by this with symptoms or the disease itself, the virus, or it has infected your family or loved ones or anybody you might care about. And I certainly send it to all who have been touched and affected by it. But we now have the opportunity to begin to find within ourselves something we may have lost with humanity, with the world, with the people we interact with on a daily basis, and that's trust. Trust is key to feeling safe, which is what we all need, and trust is key in our interactions and our encounters with each other as we make our way through our days. It's hard to trust a process, and I'm not going to get into the conversation about government agencies and the different individuals that are offering their input or guidelines or suggestions as they have. It comes back down to how we each experience ourselves in relationship to that, rather than whatever we're experiencing in this conditional reality out there we live in. So I bring deep and profound respect to everybody's view of how they see it. And yet we each are needing to really look to what we see or feel or believe in order to establish trust in what we know is true, right, and real for us. And this is what we bring to our lives, to each other's lives. As humanity, we bring this surety of who we are within. Each of us will come out of this from a personal point of view, and as we step out as a collective, from the standpoint that you'll be interacting with others locally, within your work, within your community, and then all of us together as humanity, as the world. And so this new reflection is not yet making itself clear. It has to start where we are and what we bring to what we choose to be and do. It's evolving. The phases are unfolding, and we're going to see the impact that they have. And we all have had the opportunity to be in a place of, I like to call it solitude. I don't know what your experience has been. I've been really blessed. Fortunately for me, I've had my wife and my son and my dog at my home, and so I've had that interaction, which is very different from people who are completely by themselves or experience other things. So I'm grateful to be able to have had that kind of connection as I've made my way. And it's helped me. I have a situation where I've got this perfect, scenario at home of what's actually happening out there for me. My wife works at the hospital. My son works at Target. My daughter found out she was pregnant during this process. I mean, everything that could happen, well, not everything, and we're being very careful and very safe and everybody's well. But I've had a chance to reflect on this and see it for what it is. And I can only see it my way. I look at others and I listen to others. I talk to everybody every day, the individuals that I interact with, and hear different views and different experiences. And I believe each one of them that we're having, each one of us having our own experiences, are for us to be able to see something different in our own way. Nobody strikes the same note in the symphony of life. Nobody brings the same brushstroke to the canvas of life. Everybody brings theirs, and it's the diversity coming together in unity that brings that full spectrum of what life is and has to offer, that we all can engage in and participate in. We can make our way through what we're doing, and we can look at our relationship with others, with our life, with humanity, the world as we know it, and we can begin to reflect how we see it and how we feel about it. We can begin, what I want to say would be, to be conscious. Conscious sounds like kind of a mystical term for some, but really it's just paying attention. And I encourage you to look at what you need to and take in what you need to see this for what it is, to experience it in your own way. And yet it's important that we stop in this, what I call solitude, isolation, seclusion. There's a lot of different ways it could be described, where we can really take a moment to look carefully, to look within, and to allow ourselves to feel and know the truth of who we are in such a way that We can see things, that we can be responsible. And keep in mind, responsible is the ability to respond, and how we respond right now by being conscious, we'll be able to choose consciously, act consciously, and we'll be able to see things for what they truly are from a place within that affects everything we choose to be in our lives together. And as we move forward, we're really looking to create a more conscious connective within the collective of humanity. It's obvious to many of us that we have made our way through this situation in a manner that hasn't worked for the benefit of each and all, or we would have dealt with this a little bit differently. At least that's my opinion. Now we have the chance to make things work differently by being who we really are from a really real and true place. And that's all great to say, just Jim. But how do we do that? How do we literally begin to be more conscious? We certainly can make our way as we're doing what we're doing and acting as we leave our homes in a conscious manner. Masks, antibacterial gel, how close we choose to be with each other, how we handle and encounter what we do as we're out. I mean, it's hard to imagine how it's going to look and what's going to happen, but it's an interesting time to determine how we're going to be and how we're going to become as we're making our way. These kinds of decisions to use antibacterial gel or masks, or how close we are to follow the arrows in the grocery stores, or being sure we're keeping our distance in places as we begin to gather more and more, is practical. But there's more to it than just how we act in a practical way in our lives. It's about what we hold within ourselves for ourselves and therefore for each other. What does that mean, Jim? Well, what that means is we have this opportunity to tap into the characteristics of who we are in a true and deep level, and allow ourselves to feel and know how we can be in our lives. We can begin to find the characteristics of kindness, of compassion. These are Buddhist-based ideas used quite frequently in their way of seeing things. The Buddha nature is to be compassionate, to be loving, to be kind, and to not harm. And again, keep in mind, this is a vibration. It's an expression that we're having within us that we carry with us. You know what I mean? I mean, like when you walk into a room, and if you're frustrated by the day and other people are there, they can feel it. Or if you've just had wonderful news about something positive, you're glowing. A loss, empty. Fear, apprehensive. As you make your way, it reflects out into all that you choose to do and be. Words like considerate and respectful. Not adhering to or being imposed upon,